So the common denominator for all those guys, the thread that ties them all together is unfortunately somebody named Mr. Beast. So if you have a child, especially a boy around that age, you probably know who Mr. Beast is. But would you like to explain who he is to anyone who doesn't know who Mr. Beast is?
Mr. B, is he the most popular YouTuber?
I think so.
I don't know. Either way,
Yeah.
he's very popular on YouTube, and he makes these ridiculous videos. And I used to think it was really stupid.
Yeah.
And then I actually listened to a podcast with him on it, and he makes these videos. He makes a ton of money, but his production costs are massive, and he basically reinvests most of the money he makes into making the next video, which costs a ton of money, which is what makes them interesting, I think. So anyway, so I watch him sometimes with the kids when he releases a new one, and they're pretty interesting, I think. Now, I mean, I hate to admit, but I do enjoy watching them.
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
a bit of a geek, and like all his buddy, it's a weird vibe over there.
It's very weird, and there's been some controversy, and like, and they're not. The funniest thing to me is he's not that great of a host. Like, he doesn't like really know how to.
Terrible. He wears this idiotic hat,
and he's not like the way he talks. I don't know the whole thing.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah,
but his videos and the creativity behind him
is incredible, and inevitably a lot of people are competing for money in these dumb games, and they have really, I mean, and he's done some really cool things too. He's built wells in Africa, and he gives a lot of money away to people.
Yeah,
like
built houses and stuff. Yeah, I mean, he does some good, but yeah, he's pretty cringy. But
yeah.
Anyway,
why are we talking about Mr. Beast?
Yeah, why are we talking about this, Dylan? Get to the point.
So, he's known for doing all these weird challenges. In the past, he's had one where they had like I can't remember the airplane, but it was in a hangar, and it was like, okay, everybody touch the airplane. The last person touching the airplane wins it. And I think it was like an old Hawker 700 or something. I can't even remember. So, they had, 30 people standing around, and then as time went on, these people would fall out, and then they'd get, somebody ended up winning the old airplane.
Unfortunately, it is due for a 72-month next month.
Sorry, yeah. Those Viper engines need a lot of oil, so congratulations. So anyways, his latest that came out, I think he talked about it on a podcast. The video has not been released yet, but he basically had a challenge where he challenged 2 pilots to live in an airplane for 100 days. And they could not exit the airplane.
They cannot leave the airplane.
Cannot leave the airplane for 100 days. And if they can make it the entire 100 days, they get to keep the airplane. Now, I saw a clip on social media of the interview, and he said the airplane was a, quote, Hawker 2000. So that either means it's a Falcon 2000 or a Hawker 4000, I'm guessing. One of those two, which they're kind of comparable size-wise.
It's a mid-size.
And he said the pilots were, quote, recently out of flight school. So I don't know exactly what that means either.
Yeah, no idea. But the kicker of the whole thing is that he said he would pay for the gas if they wanted to fly anywhere during that 100 days. So they could fly every day the way he makes it sound.
Yeah. So essentially, these guys have to survive in the plane. They can fly somewhere if they want to. And if they can make it 100 days, he said he made it sound like, oh, you could order Uber Eats and have food delivered and that kind of stuff. So it's not. So it got us thinking.
It's very complicated. Who's paying for the database subscription?
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
There's
who's
a lot
the
more than
on
just
the show?
The gas.
So at first, when this was first brought to our attention, we made it sound like they were looking for volunteers. And then later, we actually discovered they've already filmed this. Apparently. It hasn't been released yet. So at first, when we're like, volunteers, and Max and I, the wheels started turning. We're like, okay, could we do this? Could we be on an airplane for 100 days? And so we had a couple thoughts about it, and I'd be curious to hear what listeners would think as well. But if you actually started to think about what it would actually be like and how you do it. And for the purposes of this this discussion, we will say it's a Hawker 4000, so mid-size, a little bit bigger than the Challenger and the Gulfstream.
Dude, what's the longest trip you've ever been
on? Work trip?
Yeah.
Not that long. Maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think my longest was I don't know, 5 weeks, maybe something like that.
That's pretty long.
Yeah, it was like summer. We'd go to Europe. I did
Yeah.
almost a 30-day trip every summer.
Right, I remember that.
And bounced around Europe. It was a blast, but it was a long time, dude. Like that was a long time. You're ready to go home.
Yeah.
And so that times 3 plus ish, that would be rough.
That would be brutal. Yeah.
I like you, but whew.
I mean, you'd have to if you were actually to be successful, I feel like you would probably have to know the other person beforehand, I would think. I was thinking about how you do it logistically. So let's say, I think the first thing you do is you'd have to buy a couple of those jet beds, where they inflate and they go between the club seats.
Yeah, you'd have to get that. I mean, you'd have to figure out, what would you do? Just take sponge? Or no, you had this great, tell them about your great idea.
Yeah,
for
so I was
bathing.
thinking about it. So I was like, okay, well, how would you shower on a plane like that? So I was thinking, because it sounds like you have an unlimited budget to like order stuff. So I'd order a bunch of like plastic, like tarp, like Visqueen or something, put that in the baggage compartment, and then order some tubing from Home Depot. And essentially, I would figure out a way to create an adapter to make a little.
No, dude, it's just one of those camp showers. Have you seen it? It's like black plastic.
A little camp shower.
You'd hang it out in the sun
Yep.
outside the airplane and let it heat up, and then hang it from the coat.
Yeah.
The bar where you hang the clothes from in the baggage.
Or conversely, if that wouldn't work, figure out some adapter and then hook it up to the sink in the lav, and then like run the hot water and then like have it come through. And either way, you somehow make a shower in the baggage compartment, and then so it can like drain out the baggage door.
Can you imagine?
And then I guess if you can order food, you're just constantly ordering food, from wherever you're at.
Like you have to have some sort of.
You'd have to like try
exercise regimen.
Pelotons. I think you'd have to like get 2 Pelotons, right? Or one Peloton.
No, I think you could just do like. I think you could do body weight, calisthenic type exercise.
Yeah, but you want some cardio too. I think you could get a Peloton into a cabin.
I don't know. It would be rough. You'd have to figure out how to, exercise, eat. I'd have to have, luckily you could have Amazon, or some sort of book delivery.
Yeah, if you could get delivery. Okay, so you could do, like, it wouldn't be awesome, survive, but you could do it, I think.
But the key is, what would you do?
Yes.
With
that's the real fun conversation. Like, let's say that that both pilots are fully qualified in the airplane and they're, comfortable flying, they're professionals. What would you and I do with access to an airplane for 100 days where we could fly it wherever we wanted?
I mean, I could think of a lot of self-serving things I would do. I'd go fly to, Bhutan, all these like the most dangerous airports, Sion in Switzerland, all these places. You could do that. And you could, just say, oh, I'm going to fly around the world 3 times or whatever. You could do it more than 3 times, but, just fly to weird places, like up in like some weird airport in Greenland, and, I would say Russia, but I guess that doesn't work anymore. Anyway, I'd fly to just some weird places just to check it out. I don't know. But I could find a lot of places to just fly to. What sucks is you can't get out of the airplane.
Yeah, I know. So it's got to be like what's cool to see while you're like coming in.
Yeah, right. Like go fly.
What has the best like catering they can deliver to you? You fly somewhere, then you like have to get the
could you imagine food. The ethnic cuisine we could be getting into and go to like Morocco?
Yeah.
And get...
It's got to be delivered though.
Yeah, I mean that's all you could do to keep it interesting. But you had kind of had a cool idea too.
I don't know. Obviously it would depend on the rules. I was thinking it'd be super cool if he was going to pay for the gas and you could convince him like to let you do like fly for Corporate Angel Network or Wounded Warriors and like fly a bunch of people to different places they need to get. Like if maybe the rule was you could only fly strangers or something like that. I feel like you could do some really cool humanitarian stuff.
Which would be good. It would keep it interesting.
Yeah, be good for the video.
It'd be awesome.
And
I mean, you could go. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Did I talk about that? You could go talk to JARS or these people in Ghana that are flying, to all the into the backcountry strips in the jungle and delivering aid and all of this stuff, because those guys, it's funny. I'm reading a book about that right now, and a lot of time, they have airplanes like Helio Couriers. Now they have the Pilatus Porters and stuff that go, 100 whatever 10 knots, and so they need those airplanes because they're the ones that can get it out of most of the places they fly. But then sometimes they need to go further for different reasons.
Yeah.
And they're just like trucking across the water at 100. Like there's a lot of good you could do with those people too. And like,
yeah, I mean, you could be flying in just humanitarian supplies. So
we'll be there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Here's make us a schedule.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be cool. Yeah, do 2 weeks for like every one of the charities. Just kind of grind it out
until we ate something weird.
Yeah. Well, the problem is if it's actually a Hawker 4000 with like, I mean, wouldn't that be funny if on like day 4 it just goes AOG and you're waiting for a part for like 90 days? The whole movable video just blows up. Well, we can't get that bleed valve, so you guys are just gonna have to be stuck here.
Oh my gosh,
that would be the problem, is flying an airplane like that where it's just like not
just it'd have to be MEL for like
MEL
single pack off, so we could go above 25,000 feet, but just keep rolling.
Flying around on oxygen. We're trying, Mr. Beast. We're doing our best.
Sorry, the fuel bill is going to go up a little bit.
Yeah. So I would be curious to hear from our listeners. If somebody gave you and your buddy access to a jet for 100 days and paid for all the expenses, what would you do with the plane? That would be a very interesting. I mean, you could make it a super interesting video. I hope he just didn't put 2 jabronis in the plane that don't do anything.
I wouldn't think, dude, with the the kind of money they would have to put in a couple of interesting.
I would hope. I mean,
hopefully it's not some pilot influencer selfie videoing dude.
It just seems like there's so many moving parts. Like an airplane that big, you've got to fly 2 current type rated Hawker 4000 pilots that are going to be, a free for 100 days. Yeah, just we got nothing else going on. I mean, it just seems very hard to execute. I'd be curious to see who their consultant was on this video. I really hope it comes out. I hope there are more details that come out, because I think it would be fascinating. And if it does come out, I think, Max, we should do
It says it's a Dassault Aviation Hawker 2000. So it's a Falcon 2000.
It's probably a Falcon 2000.
Old clapped out. Oh, the one with those engines that are
super
expensive.
A classic. Okay. Well, I guess that doesn't really change much of our conversation. If it's a Falcon 2, I better support it, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah.
Hopefully it's not an engine program. Because those early Hawker or Falcon 2000s with some sort of engine.
Oh yeah.
The engine program's like ridiculously
it's horrendous. Yeah, so that's why I'm curious, like who.
It's got to be that, because those things. That's why they're super cheap.
Yeah. It's why I'm curious, like who. God, and then can you imagine winning that plane, and then you have like a 1 million Hawker 2000 or a Falcon 2000 you got to get rid of.
Yeah, that's the thing. How much would the residual value of the airplane have to be worth for you to?
We should
do the challenge.
It'd be hilarious. That'd be the best part of the video. Would be the follow up of me, you, and Brooks trying to unload this plane. Brooks negotiate. We'll take 600,000. We're gonna net like we each walk away with 60 grand. Look, we would have made more at our regular job.
Dude, I'd want to land on that ice runway in Antarctica.
Yeah. That would be sick.
Awesome till you can't get out, and then just take off like VFR and fly around. I don't know if you can get gas. I don't know. There's a lot of
Falcon 2000 can go far enough.
Well, especially with 2 people, dude, you could top it off.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm just saying, in general, could go far enough to do cool stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, we've already spent a quarter of the show discussing this, so I want to hear from the listeners. What would you do? Yeah. Access to a Falcon 2000, assuming you were trained and everything, and you could fly it. What would you do? How would you use that 100 days? You think you could make it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I could. I don't think it'd be very pleasant.
Yeah.
I think after like 2 weeks, it'd be like, all right.
You'd really, I honestly think you'd really have to be doing good for other people.
You would have to have purpose.
There would have to be purpose to do it. And
I agree.
So anyways, all right. Enough about Mr. Beast.